Matthew Reilly, welcome to the Weekend Briefing.
Thank you for having me.
So you've flown back into Sydney. You're based in Los Angeles now. What's it like flying back every
It-
time you come back?
It's always good to see how Sydney changes. I'm very happy to see the roads have changed. There are so many cool new tunnels.
Okay.
I-
Well, it says. I mean, that's great. But if that's the most exciting thing about your hometown, the new tunnels.
I moved to LA at the start of 2015, and
Yeah.
so it's like the North Connects one that takes you out of Sydney to the north, the
Yep.
tunnel to the Olympic Stadium,
Yep.
and then I flew in today, and the guy driving me into the city said, "There's a tunnel from the airport all the way to the city."
Yeah, it's really fast.
And I'm like, we didn't take it. He said it was going to be a bit jammed this morning, but cool.
Yeah.
I-
Is that also because now you live in Los Angeles, or you have for the past decade, and Los Angeles is known for many things, including its terrible traffic?
Yep. So LA has terrible traffic,
Yeah.
but it moves.
Right.
And believe it or not, my wife and I, we had to sit driving tests when we moved to LA.
What is the other
So
side of the road?
It's the other side of the road,
Yeah.
but we had to do the book test. So you fill out the answers on the computer, the multiple choice
Yeah,
answers.
yeah.
I had to do a behind the wheel test as a 40-year-old man.
Okay.
So I actually went and got a driving lesson with one of those companies with the L plates on it.
Oh.
And they take you around showing you what you do on your driving test. And what they tell you, apropos of your point, is they want you to be assertive, not aggressive. They basically
Okay.
say, we've got to keep the traffic moving in
Yeah.
LA. So if there is a gap in the traffic, you take it.
Okay.
And so that's what they tell you.
Well, I'm really keen to know if you passed on the first go.
I did.
Okay,
I
very
did.
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we're not here to talk about traffic or tunnels. We're here to talk about you and your incredible career as a writer. Let's wind it back. You grew up in Sydney when there were far less impressive tunnels. Was writing always your calling?
I wanted to be a movie director.
Okay.
When I was in...
Well, you got to that, but
I did, yeah.
We'll move on to that.
Can't get ahead of myself.
In a little bit of time.
I used to build little movie sets for my Star Wars action figures. And if I were a kid now, I would have my phone filming them, putting sound
Okay.
effects, putting music, lightsaber noises. I realized when I was about 17 or 18, nobody was going to give me $100 million to make an action movie.
That must be a harsh reality to swallow.
It was, but I thought, why don't I try and write these stories as books? And the first book was Contest, guy fighting aliens in a building in New York,
Yeah.
which if you did it as a movie, even today, would cost you $80 million.
Yeah. And so
that was the first one.
are you writing it thinking, I see this as a movie, but I'm writing it as a book?
I see it cinematically.
Yeah.
I do write in terms of long shots or close-ups,
Yeah.
but I'm not seeing it to be made into a movie because I know how difficult that is in
Yeah.
the real world. But yes, I am trying to write in a visual movie style.
It's also difficult to get published. Let's talk through your first experience.
Well, so I write Contest. I'm 19 when I start it, 20 when I finish it. I'm at law school. I send it to all the major publishers who all reject it.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed for about 10 seconds. And I think that the right person hasn't read it. So I famously self-published Contest and got it
Yes.
into bookstores. I went to stores and asked to speak to the manager and said, "Hi, my name's Matthew Reilly. This is my book."
So how much does it cost to self-publish? Was it like a 1,000 print run at the time?
It was a 1,000 print run.
Yeah.
It cost me $8,000.
That's a lot of money for a 19-year-old or however old you are at
Yes.
the time.
I got a loan from the bank, and a friend's dad invested in it, and it was economies of scale.
Okay.
If I did 1,000 books, it cost me $8 a book. If I did 500 books, it was going to cost me $13 a book
Yeah,
or something.
right.
So it made sense just to do that. And most people who self-publish, unfortunately, can end up with a back room or a garage full of boxes of their books.
Yes.
But I took it to bookstores. I'd asked to speak to the manager, and it was a soul-destroying experience, especially when they say no. But
Yeah.
about 2/3 of them said yes, and one of them was the Angus and Robertson store on Pitt Street, which is no longer there.
Yeah.
And into that store walked the commissioning editor of fiction from Pan Macmillan, one of the companies that had rejected it, which I never ceased to remind them of.
And who have
And-
published your most recent book, as I understand.
They've published me for the last 27 years.
Oh, they say same publisher.
They've been great. And
Yeah.
so she, importantly for anybody out there who's writing a book, she wanted to know what else I was working on. She said, I don't want someone who writes one. I want someone who writes 2, 3, or 4. Often it's the second or the third one that pops.
Yeah.
I was, again, famously, 50 pages into Ice Station
Yeah.
at that time. So even though I was a failed author by any reckoning, I was 50 pages into iStation,
Yep.
sent those pages to her, and on the basis of those pages, she signed me up to a 2-book deal. And that was
Okay.
iStation was the first, and that was the book that catapulted me around the world.
Incredible. So let's just go back to your first book. So Angus and Robertson end up putting it on their shelves?
Yes.
So because what
yes.
people, I guess, don't realise, particularly in that time, if you self-publish, that's one thing. You have the copies in your hand, but
Yes.
then you've got to put it on a bookshelf.
Yes.
That's
yes.
the distribution is the next. Like we don't have like the Amazons or here's my little,
No.
my little blog where I'm going to pop it on Facebook and, sell it to my friends or my
Yes.
community. And so it was you physically being in the store just so
Yes.
happened to be at the same time or at the right time with that Pan Macmillan.
Correct.
Yeah, incredible.
And it's like two people riding horses
Yeah.
a mile apart, shooting their guns, and the two bullets hitting in midair.
Yeah.
It's that much of a long shot. And the store manager was a guy named Ken Phillis. He was a lovely man. He gave Contest to one of his staff members. Contest is a few of my books have overt science fiction. Contest is one of them.
Yeah.
And he gave it to one of his staff who read science fiction and fantasy. And the staff member loved it. And so he said to me,
Yeah.
I'll put it up next to John Grisham and Tom Clancy.
Oh my
'cause-"
gosh.
And he said,
a little bit of competition. Yeah.
Well, he said, I'm never going to meet John Grisham or Tom Clancy, but
that's
I'll
right.
be able to say to people that I met you.
Okay. And did you sell the 1,000 copies?
Yeah. I ended up, I've got 6 left. Yeah.
You've got 6 left of that 1,000
Yeah.
run.
They sell
wow.
on eBay for like $2,000 now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they're rare now. Occasionally, I'm doing book signings on this trip, and there'll probably be 3 or 4 which turn up.
With that.
And somebody's found it. Either they've bought it on eBay for $2,000 or they've found it in a secondhand store for $2.
Yeah. Or one of those community library things on the
Yes.
street.
Well, and in fact, there was a really fun one once. I think it was a girl who came into a signing, and she'd broken up with her boyfriend, swept all the books off the bookshelf, and taken them to a secondhand bookstore, and somebody got Contest for $2.
Oh, incredible.
Mhm.
So when you look back at that book or when you
Mhm.
read it again, if you have in recent years, what do you think of a young Matt writer?
You know, you grow with each book,
Of course.
and every book is the best one I could write at that time.
Mm.
What surprises me about Contest, I haven't reread it lately, but the last time I looked at it was a few years ago.
I just heard a
It-
creep of an American accent there.
It's the
A few years
R's.
ago.
It's the R's.
Yeah.
It's years.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. I'm surprised at how spare and Spartan the prose is. It moves quickly.
Yeah.
I've never wasted words, and I'm surprised at as you get better as an author, what used to take you 10 words now takes you 6.
Mm.
And for me right now, it maybe takes me 4. So even though
Mm.
the books get shorter, there's more in them. They're denser. Contest is surprisingly lean and
Mm.
mean. There's no excess in that book.
And I'm presuming you self-edited as well. If you self-published, do you self-edit?
My brother helped me edit it,
Aw,
and
thanks,
my
bro.
my
Yeah.
first late wife helped me edit it.
Yeah.
So they were the 2 people who read my books back then. But my
Mhm.
brother, to this day, is one of the first people who reads my books. And people ask me, do you have to do a creative writing course? Do you need to get professional editing service? And the answer is no and no.
Hmm.
You're not
If you're
going
self-publishing.
if you're self-publishing.
Yeah.
And with editing, if you read, you know what works. And if
Mm.
your mum or your brother or your dad is a big reader,
Mm.
they'll also know what works. And if
Mm.
they can give you constructive feedback, they're just as good
Mm.
as an editing service, and they're free.
Did you ever finish that law degree?
I did.
Okay. What
Yeah.
have you done with it?
Well, it nothing professionally. I was at a law firm for a short time
Yeah.
until iStation came out. As long as iStation could put a roof over my head and feed me, I would
Mm.
keep writing books, and I've been doing it for 27 years, so it's still going.
Mm.
The law degrees come in handy when I do movie deals, and even sometimes new book deals.
Yeah, you can
I
review the contract.
I read the contract,
Yeah.
and you often find something on page 37 of a contract
Yeah.
where you go, hey, that's not right.
Yeah.
So the law degree comes in handy, if only for
Mm.
demystifying gigantic. I mean, the deal I did with Disney, Disney, if you're listening, pay attention. The Disney contract was the most watertight thing I've ever read
Yeah,
in
right.
my
Well, they know their
life.
stuff, right?
They know what they want.
Yeah.
They secured the coloring book rights
Okay.
if they ever made Hovercar Racer, which they didn't. So
Yeah.
now those coloring book rights are back with me, thank goodness.
And so 27 years with the same publisher, that's an incredible relationship. I want to spend a little bit of time for those who don't know a huge amount of publishing or obviously who see your success, 8 million copies or in excess of 8 million
Mm.
copies sold worldwide, and perhaps don't understand how difficult it can be to be a professional writer or to dedicate your career to
Mm.
writing
Mm.
books. What was, if you don't mind sharing, how small or what was your advance like? Because a lot of people, when they get offered to write
Sure.
a book, most people don't realize that you could earn more money selling fries at Macca's.
Yeah, so let's put it in perspective. It cost me $8,000 to self-publish Contest.
Yeah,
My first deal, my advance for Ice Station was $6,000.
yeah.
And that's divided into 3 payments. You get a third of it on signing, a third of it on delivery of the book, and a third of it on publication. So remember, they want to know that you can actually write a 400-page novel.
Yeah.
Most people don't write anything in their life longer than 6 pages, maybe a university essay. So they knew I could write a book. They'd read Contest. I get the $2,000 on signing the Ice Station deal. Then I have to write the book, and so you get $2,000 on delivery, and then you're waiting another 6 or 8 months before it gets published. So what your advance is, it's an advance against royalties. So once you sell enough books to cover the $6,000,
And most authors don't.
most authors don't. But
Yeah.
with Ice Station, it was a $3 trade. It was a $30 trade paperback, so I got $3 a book. So once I sold 2,000 books, I was in the black. And Ice Station itself has sold close to 1 million copies by itself.
Incredible.
So it's been getting royalties for the last 27 years.
Yeah, right.
And the advances then change. You get more as you get more success.
Yes.
So the advance gets bigger and you have to sell the copies to earn out the advance.
Well, let's talk about your latest book, The Detective. Is this a bit of a genre shift for you or getting...
Yeah. You could say it's a genre shift. I realized the other day I've been writing now in some way for each of the last 5 decades.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I was a teenager when I started Contest.
Yeah.
In my 20s, it was action, Scarecrow, Ice Station. In my 30s, there was a shift. I was doing adventure and then books like The Tournament. Now, I'm 51 years old, and you change. You start to write things which, for me, it's always going to have pace. It's always going to be fast. That's what I like to read. And when I read these books, 12, 15 times before they get into your hands, I want to enjoy them myself. So with The Detective, I was looking to do much more mystery thriller, set in the present day, in the American South, tackling issues which are, pretty current.
You said, you've obviously been writing over several decades and some of those genres have shifted slightly. Has your reader shifted? Who still is your core? Who picks up your book at the airport or at the bookstore or now online?
Yeah. If you go to a book signing, I would say 55% of people are women who read my stuff.
Well, women are the largest book buying
They are.
audience, yeah.
And women are the largest readers, and there's a whole interview that can be done on how we lose men. Boys read,
Yeah.
and then boys stop reading, and then we have to get boys back to reading.
Yeah. Do we know why boys stop reading?
They become 13 and they become cavemen, and
Yeah.
they play football, they see girls, they play video games.
Yeah.
There's a cool factor. There's a whole lot of pressures on teenage boys. And if I had $1 for every time I had a guy come to a book signing or an event and say, "Oh, I stopped reading, but my mum gave me Ice Station or Scarecrow or Seven Ancient Wonders, and now I've read all your books and I'm back into reading, and now I read John Grisham and James Patterson," and that's actually one of the joys of my career. Early on, it was about the action. I wanted to do big blockbuster, giant movie action, blowing up aircraft carriers. As I got into my 30s and 40s, you get The Tournament was a shift. That was a mystery thriller set in the 1500s at a chess tournament. Mr. Einstein's Secretary was a history thriller, set between and during sort of the First World War through to the end of the Second World War. With say, The Detective, it's more about the hero, that these women have been going missing for 150 years, every 25 or 30 years. And our hero is this guy named Sam Speedman on the autism spectrum. And the reason it's called The Detective and not The Missing Women is because it's about him. He is our narrator. He is taking us through this story, and you get to see the world of crime and criminals through a slightly quirky lens. And to me, that's, I don't know. One of my friends read it the other day, and he said, Matt, there's a lot of you in Sam Speedman. I think, yeah, it might be.
Yeah, why not? But still, it's women who, because I mean, if you look at the cover of your books and you look at some of the subject matter, I would assume that it's a bit not a bit blokey, but would appeal more to men.
You might think that, but again, even those books, The Tournament, Secret Runners of New York, Mr. Einstein's Secretary, all had female protagonists.
Yeah.
My movie Interceptor, female protagonist, which, believe it or not, controversially, some people don't like that. Some people actually say, oh, your book had a female lead. I don't read books. That shocks me, but there are people who do write to me and say that.
As in they won't read it because of the female lead?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. People who didn't watch Interceptor. Oh, yeah, some people dismiss Interceptor and they go, oh, it's got a female lead in an action movie. It must be woke. And so you go,
right.
Whatever.
Well, let's talk about Interceptor, because how many years was it into your career that you were able to fulfill that childhood dream of directing an action film?
I wrote Interceptor 2017.
Okay.
And I wrote it to be made for under $15 million. So I'd have a shot at directing.
Oh, okay. So by then you knew. You'd learned your lesson.
Then I knew you have to write the story that can be made for a certain dollar sum, because they won't let a first-time director have too much money.
Yeah.
And so that's why Interceptor is this story of, the bad guys fire 16 Russian nukes at 16 American cities, and our heroines on this Interceptor missile platform in the middle of the Pacific. The whole story takes place inside the command center of this missile platform, which means I don't have to shut down streets. I don't have a cast of thousands. It's contained. And so we ended up making Interceptor for $12 million US, and it tested so well with Netflix that they gave us another $1 million to do better visual effects for aircraft carriers and helicopters. And then we had 120 million Netflix accounts watch it. So the thing just went ballistic.
Incredible.
It was
And
great.
you worked with household name.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, his wife Elsa Pataki was your
She was my lead.
Your lead protagonist that upset some people, no doubt.
She was fantastic. There's a scene in the script where in the movie, where she's being shot in one arm, so she's swinging from one arm
the scene,
and leaping from hand wrung. And we actually had it. In the original script, she just did the hand wrung leaps. And when we were in rehearsal and pre-production, I saw the stunt people doing it, and I looked up at these hand rungs and I said, what if you took two out? Could you do a one-armed leap? And they said, let's give it a go. And they did it. And Elsa did that.
Yeah, right.
Did it in the shoot. She did it 4 times, and I said, can you do it one more time for me? And we'll do it really ultra slow motion. And that was the take we did. So
Oh, incredible.
she was great. She
So
was
now that
awesome.
you've had a taste of it, is that something you want to do more of?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in my perfect world, I'd write a book, make a movie, write a
Yeah.
book, make a movie. I had another film project lined up soon after Interceptor. It was Seven Ancient Wonders. It was a script I wrote. I was going to direct it. I was going to have a budget of about $80 million, and it all fell apart. And that's what happens in Hollywood.
All the time, sadly.
And I've had a lot of things fall apart. Literary Superstars, a TV show I wrote. The Writers
Yes.
Guild went on strike. That one hurt. The Seven Ancient Wonders one hurt because when Interceptor came out, you burn brightly, but briefly. For 1 month, you are the movie everywhere. And Interceptor was everywhere. So it was a gushing stream of positive attention, negative attention, great reviews, bad reviews.
Yeah.
And that's when you strike to set up your next movie.
Mm.
And the Seven Ancient Wonders one fell apart. And so, still trying to get the next one up a couple of years later.
For those trying to get not just the next one up, their first one up, the self-publishing model is a little bit different today in that it's probably cheaper I dare say, cheaper to print books, easier to flog it online or attempt to sell it online. And I have no doubt that you get asked or approached by wannabe authors about, what your advice is for them.
My advice is do it on Amazon and don't print the books. Do it as ebooks on Amazon.
Yeah.
And
The
sell them.
overheads are low. Yeah.
The overheads are low. if you've got some errors in there, you can change them easily.
Yeah.
But the main thing is you can adjust the price. My
Mm.
biggest problem with Contest was when I was selling Contest in bookstores in 1996,
Yeah. Well.
I had to sell it for $16.99, which was the price of a paperback book. Now, on Amazon, I think they have a floor of like $1. So you put your book on Amazon for $2 and people will give you a try. But if you put it on Amazon for $16, they're going to say, well, who are you? I still get, well, I haven't had it for a while, but I had people complain that my books were too expensive on Amazon. And they're like, why are these books $15 on Amazon? There's no printing costs. And the publisher's answer is, well, this guy's established himself. He's got a reputation. But if you're
Yeah.
starting out with self-published, lower the price, put a good jacket on it, and jump on your social media, get on TikTok and tell people about it.
Obviously, your books are very well known. Even in the introduction to this chat, I told my audience that if you haven't read the book, I can almost bet my life that they've seen it at an airport or they've seen it at
Yeah.
a bookstore. Do people know you and recognize you? They know your books. What kind of anonymity do you enjoy? Or not? Maybe I'm wrong.
No. They occasionally I get recognised. I remember the last time I was on a book tour, I was in Melbourne and we got to a shopping mall a bit early. And so I just went for a stroll around the mall and somebody spotted me there.
Yeah,
And they
right.
said, oh, you've got a big line of people waiting for you down at the Big W. But that's rare. Sometimes people recognise the name on my credit card
Yeah, right.
or a boarding pass on a plane.
Okay.
Uh,
So I'd
uh,
have no idea what John Grisham looks like, for example. But,
No,
he's a
no.
mega star
That's right.
in the
And-
literary world. Yeah.
and I'd probably walk past him in the street myself.
Yeah.
But people, flight stewards on airlines read a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where I often get them see my boarding pass where it's the name because they see
Yeah.
the name on the book. So less the face, more
Yeah.
the name. But otherwise, no. It's kind of good. You see, say Chris Hemsworth, seeing him come to the premiere of the movie, he has to live a certain life
Yeah.
because his fame can eventually become inconvenient.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt.
Whereas
Yeah.
mine is sort of kind of nice that I can turn it on
Yeah.
and then sort of, I mean, let's be honest, I spend 95% of my time by myself in a room typing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then 5% I come out and do this.
Yeah.
you know?
Does it ever get? We talked. You just mentioned that Chris Hemsworth. In some ways, his fame can get inconvenient, and always having to be on because you're in the public, you're recognizable, people want to talk to you. When people go to book signings, your fans, you have mega fans, and you mentioned that after this, you're going to go to a shopping center and meet with fans. Does that ever get tiring?
No, it's
Even
pe-
after 27 years of
The-
meeting readers all
Look,
around the world.
Yeah, well, you want to go back. So you got Contest, self-published. You got iStation comes out. I don't do any touring with iStation.
Okay.
My third book, but the second one to get a big release was Temple.
Mm.
The very first book signing I did for Temple, I remember it. It was up at Castle Hill here in Sydney.
Yeah.
One person came,
Oh,
One.
okay. Yeah.
and that was a friend of a friend who came to laugh at me. So, so if anybody comes to a book signing,
It's a real honor.
awesome.
Yeah.
There are some authors who sell a lot of books, but their fans don't come out.
Yeah.
So if anybody turns up, they've taken time out of their day to come and get their book signed. And let's be honest, as I say that, I think of this. They're not coming to get the book signed. They're coming to say
connect
hello,
with you, yeah.
to connect, to say that I have enjoyed your words on the page. So I would be mad if I ever got tired of that. No.
That's a wonderful place to wrap things up. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure chatting.
Thanks for having me.